Okay, so the next one, I just did Eric. Let's do Don Jr. Don Jr. and Donald Trump. Let's look at their relationship. It's called a Crystal Visions Tarot. Ace of Cups, Don Jr. Nine, 10, 11, 12, and lucky number 13. Okay. Don Jr. and Donald Trump's relationship. We start with the Nine of Wands. Interesting. Very interesting. Its image says a lot too. Well, so you have a female gladiator there and a lioness. These are usually masculine cards with the wands, because wands is an action energy, fire energy, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So you have a female warrior, basically, and then the one who does all the hunting, the lioness. So this is more along the lines of proving one's worth. Because women have a disadvantage because they're always seen as the weaker sex. So you have to fight extra hard to be taken half as serious. So you know what I mean? So in particular instance, the Nine of Wands is a card of uphill battles. So these two have a good relationship in the public. In the private, it's more of, you're my namesake, you have to behave like I do. But I'm my own man, so I can behave like I want to. And so there was a bit of a battle between these two, one proving to the other that I'm tougher and that I'm just as tough. Very interesting. Because they're not facing each other. They're not sitting here together either. Well, they're together side by side, but not together as in they want to both be there at the same time and coexist. So crossing that is the King of Swords. That would be your Donald Trump. I don't know Don Jr.'s sign, but let's look and see. Justice. There's a balance. A balance here. After the sort of tumultuous start, now we're at balance. Donald Trump here in the middle. Then we have the Page of Wands. The Page of Wands is a card of news, but it's also a card of beginning projects. But it's an action, so it's not necessarily like the Ace of Page of Cups. Page of Cups is more of creative ideas. These are creative ideas into action. Two of Swords. I think he might be a fire sign. That the other one. Two of Swords is an indecision, a stalemate, and a deadlock. Do we have a theme emerging here? I think we do. Page of Wands is about the new action. I'm going to think we're going to get a Pentacle card here. Three of Wands. Oh, yeah, that makes sense too. It is about awaiting. Because you have all of your ideas now off the ground, all of your actions, all of your creative ventures are now off the ground. Now you're just waiting to see what happens, what comes of it. So far, let's just look at what we got so far. So you have the two dominant energies proving to one another, because the male lion doesn't have to prove to anyone except another male lion. But these two seem to want to prove to one another. And mind you, this is also sort of foolish in its way. A human does not have to prove to its, let's just say it doesn't have to prove to a lioness that it's tough. Humans are weaker than most animals because they gave away strength in their evolutionary tree in order to gain logic. So the lion may be stronger than us, but we have created tranquilizer darts. Do you see what I mean? So one may be primal, faster, stronger, but the other one is also trying to prove that it is also fast and strong. But they're trying to prove it to one another, and they don't have to. You don't have to exist in the world of a lioness, and a lioness does not have to exist in the world of a human. But this is an uphill battle. Crossed by the King of Swords. This is all it's about, because remember, we're talking about Don Jr. and Don Sr. relationship. Balance. But that balance is crowned by stalemate and an indecision. It's always a tug of war with those two. Don't care what they show you in the media. All I can tell you is what I see here. There is a creative aspect to one of them, and then there is projects off the ground, but awaiting. So one is more of an action, one is more of a, I'm going to put the seeds out there and we're going to wait and see. Donald Trump seems to be the more impetuous one, and then Donald Jr. may be the one who's a little more patient. The fear, the Page of Swords. Betrayal is what I'm going to get from this, because it's not the Three of Swords. The Three of Swords is betrayal. The Page of Swords can be like a, because the swords are about knowledge. This could be an inside knowledge. This could be disappointing. It could be delayed news. It can be things like that. So when you get the Page of Swords with these in particular people, it's not necessarily betrayal. It's just the potential of it, because I know something that you don't want everyone else to know. And so that's why that's the fear. It's they love each other, but it's not that agape love. It's not that kind of love. It's not father and son. It's more like junior and senior. You know, we're just kind of, we're family because we're related. We're not family because we love. Because, you know, some of your best friends are your family members, and then some of your family members are barely, you know, acknowledged by you because of who they are. This is the fear, is that there's just a little potential for some backstabbery going on. But the hopes, the Hierophant. The Hierophant is not the government in this case. The hopes is morals, actually. Quite interesting, but yeah, it's a morals card. They hope for sort of peace and tranquility, is what I'll call it. That's what they hope for. This is not a predictive card. This is just hope. In the environment between the two, we have the Knight of Wands, more action energy, more fire energy. The Knight of Wands is the card of action. So like new, but it's a progression of this. This is like the action to go get something. This is like the realization. So this is your new job, new house, new money card. In the background, the High Priestess. They keep secrets from each other. about the businesses, about the money, about the goings on. They're not completely transparent with one another, which is where that comes from again. That inside knowledge just not quite copacetic or whatever, however that word goes. It's not, it's not, it's just a little backstabbery-ish. And so there is your new action, your job, your money, your gallivanting, your all this, your travel. And it's not completely, they're not forthcoming with one another. Your word of warning, the star. That is very interesting. Why would this be your warning? Well, the star is a card of hope. It's a card of healing. It's also a card of the center of attention, self-importance, because it is literally the star. That thing off in the distance that looks like one thing but could actually be another. How stars are celebrities, are one thing on TV, but then they turn out to be something else in real life. Because perception is often reality, kind of like a star. When you look up into the night sky, sometimes, unless you Google it, some people cannot tell the difference between a star and a planet. I was told that if it twinkles, it's a star. If it's a steady light, it's a planet. So this is where I get that from. To where you look up in the sky and it looks like one thing, but it's actually another. So your word of warning is, don't do this. But they're trumps. I mean, come on. Your word of warning is the star. Don't be so self-absorbed, but they can't really help it because, again, the new action, the new job, new money, and the travel, it's all been hidden from one another. They don't really know where their money is and where it comes from. But so Trump will never really be broke, and neither will Don Jr. Not necessarily embezzlement. But it's kind of like, if you're going to put my name on it, then I'm entitled to it because my name's on it. It's like if, well, you understand what I'm saying. If Trump went to Don Jr. and said, hey, I got to put your name on this for tax purposes. There's $1,000 in this account. Okay, fine. And then Trump looks and it's like $83 left in that account. And then Trump says, well, where'd the money go? He was like, well, I was entitled to it. My name is on it. There you go. Temperance is your word of solace. Meeting of the minds. This is something you can hold on to. He will never really truly stab you in the back. There's just always the potential. 10 of Wands. It's the outcome of your relationship. Eric got the 6 of Wands because he admires you. Donald Jr. is burdened by you. Or maybe you're burdened by him. You were here first. I don't know. That's one of those chicken and egg conversations to where who is at fault for the horrible child, the child or the parent? Because the child is still a person at the end of the day. It can choose to behave the way it wants to. But what we have, the uphill battle between the two of you. We have the King of Swords, you there in the middle. The balance, and then the indecision, the stalemate, the deadlock between the two of you. You've always probably had it. There is the Page of Wands and then the 3 of Wands. So there is an action and then there's a patience. So there's sort of a yin and yang and a push and pull on the two of you. The fear is that inside knowledge, and then the hopes is the morals. In the background of your relationship right now, you have the new actions, but you also have hidden actions. Don't let the left hand know what the right hand is doing. You have the self-absorbed with the Star, and then you have the meeting of the minds with the Temperance. The outcome of the Don Jr. and Don Sr. relationship is the Ten of Wands. That's a card of being burdened. That's a card of also hard work sometimes. Weighed down, can't move. You will always be this way until he croaks. I'm a junior too. Sometimes they just want you to be who they want you to be and not who you want to be. So for your namesake, you will have this tumultuous relationship, I guess, between the two of you because you're very much alike. That's probably why you don't necessarily get along like you should, because you're probably alike. Just from me hearing you speak, I wouldn't dare want you to be president of a kennel, let alone the presidency. So I get it. You two will probably always have this. Must be lovely at the family reunions.